Imagine living next to a 24/7 symphony of industrial noise that never stops, like a jackhammer, a jet engine, and a washing machine all crashing together. Now imagine that noise is the soundtrack to your life because your new neighbor is a data center. Sounds like a dystopian nightmare? For thousands of people in the Bay Area and beyond, this is their reality. And here's the twist. The very technology that promises to make our lives easier is quietly turning into a public health and environmental crisis most of us never saw coming. But here's where it gets controversial. While data centers are hailed as the backbone of modern innovation, their unchecked growth is creating a toxic mix of noise pollution, water waste, and air contamination. These facilities, which might look like bland office buildings from the outside, are actually energy-guzzling giants. They consume enough water to fill Olympic-sized swimming pools daily just to keep servers cool. And that's not even the most alarming part. A recent study by Caltech and UC Riverside revealed that in 2023 alone, pollution from U.S. data centers cost society $6 billion in health damages, from asthma flare-ups to premature deaths. By 2030, that number could skyrocket to $20 billion, equivalent to the health toll of 30 million cars choking California highways. And this is the part most people miss. The environmental cost isn't just about pollution, it's about fairness. In Silicon Valley, data centers get discounted electricity rates for using more power, while residents and small businesses pay steep premiums. Meanwhile, the Trump administration's latest AI action plan is fast-tracking permits for these facilities, even as they strain the power grid and force utilities to rely on fossil fuels. In Virginia, the nation's data center hub, officials are paving the way for new transmission lines tied to coal plants that were supposed to shut down years ago. Is this the future we want for our climate goals? The stakes are rising fast. With nearly 5,500 data centers already operating nationwide and thousands more in the pipeline, communities are scrambling to keep up. California's Silicon Valley alone expects data center energy demand to double by 2035. Yet, despite the chaos, lawmakers are offering tax breaks and sweetheart deals to attract these facilities, often at the expense of local ecosystems and vulnerable communities. Proposed data centers in the U.S. are even being planned on federal land that overlaps with endangered species habitats, a decision that raises urgent questions about who's truly in charge of our natural resources. So, what can be done? For starters, cities and states must enforce stricter regulations. California's Environmental Quality Act demands that communities be protected from pollution and habitat destruction, but compliance is patchy. Legislators should mandate that data centers use on-site renewable energy, adopt water-efficient cooling systems, and install noise reduction tech. Transparency is another key battleground. These facilities should publicly report their energy and water usage, something that's shockingly rare today. Without this data, grid managers can't plan for the future, and ratepayers are stuck footing the bill for a system that's already breaking under the weight of AI's insatiable appetite. Congress also has a role to play. Bills like the Clean Cloud Act, which aims to phase out emissions from data centers and crypto mining, are a step in the right direction. But will they pass in a political climate where big tech wields outsized influence? And here's a question for you, reader. If companies like Google and Amazon can afford to pay for clean energy, why should taxpayers subsidize their pollution? The irony is staggering. We're being sold a future where AI assistants like Gemini, Alexa, and Siri streamline our lives, but the infrastructure behind them is tearing apart the planet. It's time to stop treating data centers like VIP guests in our communities and start holding them accountable. The natural world can't afford to wait for another policy delay or corporate loophole. What do you think? Is it time to call a truce with big tech, or are we already too deep in the data center trap to turn back? Share your thoughts below, because the next chapter of this story depends on the choices we make now.